Hello everybody. Today I want to talk about shooting indoors. Now, shooting inside can be very helpful for working on your shooting technique and form, or as a way to avoid the elements of the outdoors if you don't have a place to shoot when it's raining, or in my case today it's actually extremely windy, and how my house is set up and my property is laid out, I can't really read the wind very well because there's gaps between the tree lines and stuff like that. And the other situation would be if you just want to get in more arrows. So we're going to cover all those and then just cover some basics on how to set up your little indoor practice room. So first, and kind of most important, we're going to start with the target. Now, back in the day, I used to bring in my full, 52-inch round American whitetail, or in a little more recent times, I would bring in my big Denage, the big square target you see. Well, recently I've gotten my hands on this, actually made by American whitetail, a smaller little square target here. Works great and stops the arrows. A smaller target is going to allow you to put this in more ideal positions. It also alleviates a problem you could have if you have lower ceilings. Like, I don't know, these ceilings are probably like 8 foot or so. But if I put a full-size target in here and put it, on this, on my pool table here, I'd be hitting the ceiling. So having a small square target like this gives me, one, enough space to shoot arrows, but then two, I have space to move it however I like and place it wherever I like. So now that we got the target out of the way, I like to shoot at something when I'm practicing indoors and at a very close distance. So right here I got the color coding labels. A lot of people just like to use these for yard sales and such. They work great for shooting indoors because it gives you a little dot to put your sight pin on to shoot at, because shooting at just, the black here, it's kind of hard to really get, set on target. Another thing that is key to shooting indoors is the height of your target. I have mine on a chair. That way I'm pretty much shooting a flat trajectory out of my bow. It's pretty much what I shoot at 30 meters. Which is, yes, about half the distance of 70 meters, but at least I'm not aiming down. You definitely don't want to aim down when you're practicing indoors. So if you can, use a chair or use something to prop up your target. Keep in mind, though, if you have a very strong bow or the target is not, in good shape or is very well made, if it's a cheaper target made out of something other than a foam that's meant to stop arrows, if you're just using something out of styrofoam or something, just be very careful because you may have pass-throughs through the back of the target. This one has a ton of holes in it. Nothing out the back yet, as far as I can tell. So you want to keep that in mind. Now we're going to go into setting up your indoor shooting range. Okay, now I'm going to go through things you need to keep in mind for setting up your range. Of course, target height we just went over. You also need to cover entrances and exits to where you're shooting. So, I happen to have a door all the way back here that leads to the outside of my house. Now, the smart move is, if you live with other people, let them know, hey, I'm going to be shooting inside, so they already have a heads up, and you should tell them where you're shooting at. But it's always smart to close doors. That way, if you're at full draw, and somebody, forgets that you're practicing, you have an opportunity to set down and, let them pass because they have to open the door. And it also provides a little bit more protection if you happen to miss this target, which is unlikely because you are so close, but you always have to take things into, consideration. It's better to be safe than sorry. Besides having entrances and exits behind what you're shooting. You also have to think about hallways and doors that open to the sides of you, because when you're looking down at the target, you may have that one eye closed, you're going to lose a lot of view on your left or right side, depending on if you're left or right-handed. So you may miss somebody walking through a hallway to where you're shooting. A good way to block off unwanted entry into your shooting lane inside your house would be to put maybe a chair in the hallway so somebody can't walk in at least too easily, or you can put a sign on it or whatever. Also is to close those doors on your sides too. That way you have a little bit more time. If somebody were to open them up, you would go, oh, all right, go sit down. Of course, notifying people that you are shooting is the safest route. And if you have the ability to actually shoot into a room that has only one way in and it's right behind you, then that is the way to go. And the last thing to wrap this up would be the distance. A lot of people are unsure of how far away they need to shoot their target inside. A lot of people I've talked to are like, oh, I need 18 meters or like 60 feet. Most people's houses may not be a clear 60 feet long. What I've found, and I'll show you in a second here, because I'll stand where I normally stand to shoot at this target right behind me. You really only need about 15 feet to shoot a target indoors, so you can get the feel of the bow. Shooting, you're looking down at a target. You can be closer than that, of course. You don't want to be right up against it. You should let some space for the arrow to travel out of your bow before it actually hits the target. But you don't need a great distance. You don't need 50 feet inside your house. Just a small room, and you could shoot from the hallway into that small room, or down the hallway between a whole bunch of rooms. So hopefully this video was helpful in at least giving you ideas, or at least covering things on safety that you may not have thought of. If you have any good suggestions on shooting inside your house or anywhere, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear about them. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and as always, happy shooting.